Blog Talk Radio.
Yes, y'all. You are now listening to the sound of the shofar blowing. The shofar is blown to inspire the people to do their thing, and the shofar is also blown to coronate a queen or a king. And today the shofar is being blown to tell us not to bust off. More on that in a minute, but this is Faux Show Holistic Health on Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, Shophar, and today our guest is a brother by the name of JahSun. And JahSun is a dope visual artist. He's an empowerment coach and mentor, and he's also the founder of the 21-Day Tantra Challenge. And so I'm going to bring the brother on now. Definitely what we're going to be talking about today is semen retention and the power and the benefits of it. So, Brother JahSun, are you on?
Yes, brother. Good morning. Grand rising.
Hey, peace. Good to hear your voice, man.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, no question, man. No question. Well, as far as the family out there that listens, they know that I like to just go ahead and jump in, and then at the end of the show, I always give the guest a time to, what you got going on, and then also how they can find out your backstory and more about you. But let's go ahead and jump into it, because this is actually a very interesting and powerful topic, especially I feel like in the climate of what's going on out here today. So exactly is semen retention, and how, what are the benefits of it?
Well, in a nutshell, because we can be here for days, because it's an ancient Taoist, Hindu Zen master practice that goes back thousands of years. But in its essence, semen retention is just retaining your semen, which basically means not having an ejaculation. So there's a real clear distinction I like to draw up front between an orgasm and an ejaculation. They're not the same thing. So for man, an ejaculation is when that bodily-based fluid leaves his body. And the practice of semen retention is to allow that ejaculation to happen, and there are a multitude of reasons for that. But in its core essence, it's learning how to separate an ejaculation from an orgasm, because they are not the same thing.
Got it. Okay. All right. Very powerful. Very powerful. And for a lot of, guys out there, and actually probably women too, you probably just blew their mind on that, because they may not, it may be synonymous for them. Like, they always associate one with the other. So yes, let's get into the how-to. Like, all right, we separate the orgasm from the ejaculation. How is that done?
Well, there's some practices that you can do, but let's go back and just explain a little bit more about why this practice is even necessary. So, in Tantra, because we're always in energy, right? Everything is energy, vibrations, energy fields, and frequencies, and we, for the most part, your conscious audience already knows that. But what they may not know is that your vital life force energy, your second chakra, your creative energy, is spilling out every time you have an ejaculation, and we can muddy the water in a minute about women, because energetically it's the same thing. So it's really a peak orgasm is what we're trying not to have for women, that climax, that 5 to 10-second window where their body's all clenched up, and the same thing for men. The difference is we have semen that actually comes out. We have a bodily fluid that comes out. Now, why this is important to retain is because there are so many vital nutrients inside that semen. When you slow it down, what we're really doing every time we ejaculate, the body is thinking that it's creating life, literal life. So men, in our second chakra, in our lingams, in our penises, we have the power to create life, empires, generations, lineage. So every time we spill that, we're losing that life force energy. So it's very, very powerful. So in the cocktail of semen itself that comes out of the body, it's like proteins and amino acids. So that's why when we ejaculate, we usually get very tired afterwards and want to roll over and go to sleep. And women don't realize that we just basically created life. So there is more nutrients and power and proteins in an ounce of semen than a couple of pints of blood. Like, so it's very, very, very powerful. And that's why we feel very tired after we have that ejaculation. So, and as you get older, meaning if you're in your teens and early 20s, it's easy to revitalize and have that semen protein cocktail regenerate within the body. But when you start hitting 30, 40, and I'm 49, almost 50, the older you get, the harder it takes to rebuild that energy. So, for example, if a 20-year-old has an ejaculation, he can, by science, it's been shown that he can regenerate that same amount of testosterone in that cocktail again within about 24 hours. Conversely, and I'm 49, almost 50, it takes more than 7 days to regenerate and just get that nutrient back in this kind of fatigue state for a minimum of 7 days if you're about 30, 40, and upward. So how can that impact your life? In a lot of negative ways if you don't have the energy to go after the things that you desire deeply in life, whether it's your relationships or your careers or what Spirit has sent you here to do. So that's why the Taoist practice has been, no, we're not going to release that because that's creative life force energy that I actually need to keep inside my body. You can, do a testosterone test and you'll absolutely see it's very hard for men at a certain age to produce their own testosterone. In fact, testosterone levels go down, estrogen levels go up. That's why you see guys with man boobs and big bellies, and they're doing all these, workouts, and they don't know why they can't lose that weight. It's not weight, it's estrogen. It's the imbalance of the hormones in the body. So that's another important reason why you do not want to be releasing that sauce. You want to keep that inside your body and learn how to have an orgasm instead. So women can have multiple orgasms. So you can have like a clitoris orgasm, which is usually the most common one. You can have a vaginal orgasm, a womb orgasm, a cervix orgasm, a full body orgasm, a cosmic orgasm. They can have an orgasm connected to their anus. And so like men can have about 8 different orgasms as well, because an orgasm is energy. And ejaculation is a release of the energy and vital nutrients. So you see the difference?
Got it. Yeah, it makes total sense. One is just the subtle energies, and then the other one, you're actually getting rid of dense physical energies and hormones and all the different things. So that makes a lot of, you know what, I look at it like this, JahSun, I'm thinking about like the average of healthy men, and one ejaculation might have, 200 to 300 sperm cells, they say. That's enough to repopulate the United States.
Yeah. It's that deep, man. And then like some guys are like masturbating 3 and 4 times a day, son. So think about that. Think about that.
Yeah, been there, done that. Before I started on my path, there's been times, man, where and I think since starting to practice this over the last probably at least 14 or 13 years or whatever, I probably have cut back my ejaculation down maybe 30, 40%. It's not every time, but even that 40%, if guys are out there hearing this, if you cut it back 30, 40, 50, 20%, whatever, anything that you do is going to help you. So this is very powerful information that you're getting out there for the family.
Respect. Yeah, and, there are, again, some Taoist beliefs. Now, schools are vary from place to place, but it's really said that, there's 2 things that really determine the quality of life. Most schools will say the quality of our life is based on the quality of our breath. We only have a certain amount of breaths that the universe allows us. And, the first breath, the inhale, and the last breath, the exhale, right? And everything else in between is up to us to regulate and quantify. And that's why again, in a lot of yogic practices, pranayama, learning how to breathe less. Like there are some masters that can take 1 breath every 5 minutes. And when they take it, you can't even see that they're breathing. And it's called baby's breath, like from their belly, from their diaphragm. If you ever watch a sleeping child, that is the way we all come into the earth. That's the way we breathe. And over time, as we get older, we get stressed. We start breathing from our chest instead of our belly, which is one of the primary reasons why there are so many anxious people in the world today, is because they're breathing from their chest, not their diaphragm, and it puts their nervous system in a sympathetic state. And so they're always anxious because they don't know how to relax. So that same concept really applies to Tantra as well as it relates to this life force energy that we're talking about now. It's a strong belief that the more ejaculations you have, the quicker you shorten your life, literally. That's why we call it life force energy, right? So the quality of your life is determined by your breath and how many ejaculations a man has had in his lifetime, so which is why you want to limit them as you get older and older and older, because there is some belief that you will shorten your days on this planet if you masturbate over and over and over and have an ejaculation. So the little subtle nuance that you talked about has everything to do with learning how to move that energy up through all of the 7 chakras, and we know that there are actually more than that. There's the 8th and 9th and 10th chakra. But within the body sphere, you want to move that energy from just your 2nd chakra. Don't you know that most people on the planet, no judgments, are in a 3D state, and they only activate their 1st and 2nd chakra? If they're lucky, may activate their 3rd. But what does that mean? The 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th never get realized and actualized by most people on the planet today. So the benefit of semen retention allows you to accumulate that energy inside the body and learn how to move and distribute it up through, awaken the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, and everything else, all the way up into the crown chakra. So it's an energy field. And once you have that energy built up and it moves up the Kundalini chain, if you will, that's when you can experience all those other types of orgasms. Now, you will never be able to reach those because they require a certain power grid, a certain power field. It's like energy. It's your battery. And the same thing goes with women. Women mostly will only have, a clitoris orgasm. So they also have to build up this energy. And when the polar and, when the negative and the positive poles connect, meaning the man's penis is energized, the woman's vagina and womb is energized, when they connect, negative and positive, boom, it opens up those other areas within inside the queen so that she can have those other orgasms that she wouldn't normally have. So a good case study would be look at pornography. You never, they may have a clitoris orgasm, they may have a G-spot orgasm, but they're not talking about having cosmic orgasms or full body orgasms that last for 20 to 40 minutes. Like, they're never going to experience those because they're still at that very base level, that very primal base level of sexuality, and their bodies aren't charged enough, literally, to access those other portals within inside the human capacity in the human body.
No question. It makes sense, man. So it sounds like what you're saying, JahSun, is that out there for the family is that we got to spread the energy throughout the body. Like right now, is a lot of genital focus, and in order to go to these higher states of consciousness and have these other orgasmic experiences, the energy needs to be distributed throughout the whole body, especially for like women, like you're saying, in the breast orgasm, for their actual breast orgasm and everything. So very powerful. And you know what? This goes right into another topic that I wanted on this for you. Just the whole thing of lasting longer as a man. Let's go a little bit about that, because if we're spreading the energy and everything, that allows us to show up for the queens in a different way. So can you speak on that a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm glad to. Yeah, you're correct. And for all the guy listeners and for my lady listeners too, fellas, we can get to 0 to 60 in less than a minute if we really wanted to. Let's just
real
be real.
Quick,
we can get real quick, brother. Right? Wham, bam, we're done. But conversely, based on physiology, a woman's and it's different. So it takes a woman on average 20 minutes to warm up. So what does that mean? When we move into a tantric state, and here's the reason why we want to move into a tantric state. One is because, like you said, we're in a very hypersexual society right now where the focus is all on the genital. Well, the problem with that is, we are in friction-based sex. If you look at any pornography, bam, 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 bam. The woman's like harder, and the man's trying to like literally break her in 3 pieces. Like, and there's a reason for that. It's a sad reason, or desensitized, and so is the woman's clitoris and her womb and her vagina, which basically means they can't feel anything. So that's why they need all that stimulation. That's why they need vibrators. That's where fetishes are born, and that's why they need all these other forms of stimulation, is because they have literally desensitized their bodies and their genital areas. And pornography also desensitizes the mind, but we can move into that in a minute. So the practice of Tantra is, yes, to slow down, to move away from friction-based sex, to become more connected with your penis, to become more connected with your vagina and your womb, and slow down and literally bring all of your consciousness into those areas as you're making love. So what does that do? It allows you to not have a quick ejaculation. It also allows for my guys who are struggling with low testosterone, erectile dysfunction. It allows you to not have those issues as well. So you become a more compassionate, present lover. And I don't know a woman on the planet, or any partner for that matter, who would not benefit from a more present, awake, conscious partner making love. So it moves from goal orientation to goal, the connection is the goal. Because, a lot of guys are like, did you come? Like, it's this goal-oriented situation. You better break me in two, brother. If you coming over here, you better rock my world and put me it's all goal orientation. But that's very unconscious, man. And when we move from that, when we move into a place of true connection, then we can connect. But if we aren't connected to our own selves, right, if we aren't connected to our power centers, and for men, it is our penis. If we're not connected there is disconnection in every other aspect of our life. It's a contradiction to think that you're connected to your finances and your relationships, even your career or your soul's mission, if you are disconnected to yourself in any way. So, you bring that connection to your partner, and they bring that to you as well. So absolutely, slowing down. When guys ask me, how do I become a quality lover? I'm like, well, you got to slow down. Or what does that mean? You literally have to slow down your breathing, right? We talked about that. There's all this stuff is connected, man. If you're breathing from your chest and you're all excited because the woman is fine and you can't believe you making love to her right now and you all up in your head, you're gonna blow it. So
smack it, flip it, rub it down. Oh no.
Man. If you all in that, I can't believe she is so fine. I can't believe I'm even here right now. You get all worked up, and then the next thing you know, you're out of your consciousness, and you're somewhere else, and boom, you're done. So
and she ain't gonna believe that she was there either. She's like, what was I doing here? What the?
And she's gonna talk trash like this cat did not get a second try. But we joke about the reality is, a queen deserves to be explored and discovered. And then that is our responsibility. That's our responsibility to bring that level of consciousness into the relationship. My rule of thumb, I'm going to be real honest with you, brother, since we're talking and this is a mature conversation. My rule of thumb is that man should not even be inserting his penis into a woman unless he's given her at least 30, 40, 60 minutes of quality foreplay. So that means, oral intercourse. That means eye gazing, cuddling, full body massage, a yoni massage. Warm up her yoni before you even try to insert your penis. And you will find you have to do a lot less work on that aspect of things to get her to an orgasm if you have prepared her body properly. It's like worship. It's a ritual, and I'm dead serious. So if you are a quickie kind of fella, you need to slow down. You need to worship that woman. Warm up some oils, light the candles, get the room set, massage her, speak to her, and whisper in her ear. Take time with that queen. Massage. I massage everything: toes, fingers, elbows, inner thighs, outer, everything on a woman, her crown, massage her scalp, everything. And get her to the place where she is warmed up and ready, son. And then, move forward.
Yeah. Well, you know what, bro?
And only then.
Man, amen. I say all of that, to everything that you're saying, man. I mean, and one of the things that when I was introduced, one of the masters that I learned from what he said is that, a lot of men be like, man, that's corny, man. I'm not, that's simping. I'm not taking all that time for women. He was like, and you will never know all of the benefits and beautiful things that a woman can bring to you in your life then. So
yeah, it's a service, man. You have to show up and you have to have a spirit of service, and that's not a goal orientation. That's I'm here to serve. How do I serve you, queen? And the only way to truly connect with the queen is on an emotional level. And you cannot, there's no other way, man. And that's what women are starving for. And that's why you see a lot of women have slipped into a masculine personality, just because they have been so hardened, and they're cut off in a lot of cases for their emotions too. So, I mean, it's a vicious cycle. You know, it's not any one gender's fault. But, you know, we all have to do better to raise the bar and, like, you know, raise that vibration up. But, yeah, man, for a woman to really get into her goddessness and her divine feminine, you know, she needs a boost from the divine sacred masculine. And that's our role, to serve the goddess. If you're not coming at a woman and with that energy, how can I serve you today? What do you need today? How can, you know, if that is not your general, like, mode of operation in life, you will never connect with the queen on a deep level. You will never unlock her, and she will never really discover the depths of who she is in your presence.
Whew. Take that, run that back, everybody. You know, get that deep into your cellular memory, because somewhere in there, as the masculine energy, you're programmed for this anyway. You're programmed for that service. You're programmed to take the burdens off her and not put burdens on them. And like Brother JahSun is saying, not just on the woman that you're relating to or women that you're relating to, but also just in life in general, the feminine energy, your mother, your sisters, your aunts, you know, like, we are here to unburden. So, and that will affect the whole world. You know what? We're at the 10-minute mark, and I definitely want to get this in for you, because where you're going with this is right in line with your art series called Heal Her, and it's dope. You know, like I said, we're going to get the brother's information so y'all can check out his artwork and the things that he has going on, because it's amazing. But tell us a little bit about how semen retention, what role it plays in actually healing the woman. Like, how is that connected?
Yeah, well, you know, just the practice of semen retention is going to make you more present. You know, it's going to make you more present, and that's really the biggest payoff here. You know, of course, you're energizing, you know, your penis. So I really want you fellas to think about your penis from now on as a lightning rod, because that's exactly what it is. And the practice of semen retention and the accumulation of that life force energy, learning how to distribute it through other parts of your body, through kundalini meditation practices, pranayama practices, literal regular physical exercise, creative projects that you've been sent here on earth to erect and do. Like, you can redistribute. So a lot of people like JahSun, like, I've been single and abstinent for 4.5 years. I haven't made love to a woman in 4.5 years. And people are like, how are you doing all of these creative projects? How do you have an album? How are you doing this? You're doing all kinds of things. And I'm like, yeah, semen retention. That's how. Like, I'm taking the energy and redistributing it and putting it somewhere else. So the benefit of semen retention, again, as it relates to connecting in relationship, is the primary thing. It really deepens your focus and your connection. And when you're a king, and not just a self-professed king for the camera, for Instagram or whatever, like, when you're operating as a king, like, the woman will be able to connect with you at that level. You know, because most women don't trust a man because of the way he behaves. But if a man is disciplined and he has mastered himself, his base instincts, his primary instincts, because any guy that's out here humping and screwing 10 different women at a time, he's at his very basic base level. He has nothing to offer the queen, nothing to offer the queen. And for any woman that's listening and says, oh, yeah, I just want that good dick, excuse me, you know, you have nothing to offer a king because that's the lowest vibration as it relates to a relationship, you know. So, you know, that builds trust. When a woman comes into a cipher and sees a man that's disciplined, it builds trust. And what does that do? It allows her to drop a card. It allows her to open up. It allows her to tap in to heal other aspects of her body and maybe her traumas and her wounds. I mean, the bedroom is a perfect place to heal traumas with a conscious partnership. It is the absolute best place. I have cried with queens that I have been, you know, in relationship with. I don't sleep around when I'm not in relationship. So I'm monogamous. You know, I'm a one-woman man, but I have literally cried with almost every woman that I've been in contact with and have been in relationship with. It takes you to a deeper place, you know, like laughter, having some fun. Like, it doesn't, you know, when you're not goal-oriented, you can just relax and be. and you will find all types of amazing things about one another. But it really, men, it just grants permission to the woman to heal, whatever that may be. Maybe it was sexual abuse and trauma, whether it was guilt and shame. You know, I don't know what it may be. Our job is to be the container, to hold space. Again, it's our responsibility to come into the cycle with a conscious penis, right, and knowing how to support the woman as she evolves and heals. That is our role.
Love it. Powerful stuff, man. And fellas, and you know, those of us out there, if we really think about the state of womanhood on the planet, even today there are places where women can get stoned or killed for just looking at a man, supposedly, or something like that, or doing, you know, something very small and minuscule. There's places on the planet even today. And so when you think about for centuries and thousands of years now that this has been going on, it's in the collective consciousness and the collective DNA of a lot of women that they need us to show up in a certain way for healing. So everything to the brother, I resonate with everything you're saying, bro.
Respect. And, you know, I definitely, and you've seen it in my artwork, I mean, my very first painting was of a goddess, and it hasn't changed. And that was, gosh, that was in, you know, a long time ago. 2003 is when I started painting. So, but yeah, I'm definitely of the mind and heart and spirit that, you know, part of the reason for all the chaos on the planet today is because of the imbalance in the genders. And what I mean is this patriarchal system has got to fall down. It's imbalanced. It's not proper. And you see everything that you just spoke about, and if you see all of the penetration to keep women small and dim their light. Even to this day, I can't believe that women are just, in some areas of the world, just able to drive or just able to go to a movie theater. That's insane to me. But you see it in all of, like, you know, some religious texts where, you know, they paint women in a really negative light, especially Christianity. You know, I was in that for a while, so, you know, I just seen it firsthand. I'm not throwing any stones on anyone who's listening that's a Christian. I love the Bible and all of that kind of stuff, but you got to be able to read through it and with a conscious, like Christ consciousness, if you're going to read that book. But, you know, if you look at it on a very base level, man, you could see that they just hate women, like, all through the book. And, you know, ancient cultures were not wired that way, which is one of the reasons why we have all the issues we have today. You look at any indigenous ancient culture, and there was always kind of like the chieftain, right, the warrior, and then you had the oracle, the mother, right? And you see that Native American culture, you see it in any African culture. You go down to the Amazon, you see it there, in Peru, you see it all over the world, Thailand, wherever you go, you saw that. And to give our listeners a good example is most people have seen Avatar. I think Avatar is the biggest money-making movie of all time. Well, even in that, you know, in this modern age, in that movie, you saw the chieftain and you saw the oracle, and nobody made a move without mama's approval. So, you know, we have got to also get back into the matriarchal role. So, you know, I have a lot of Native American influence that bubbles up through my spirit. Well, a lot of people don't know this. But when a boy warrior is, when a Native American male is born, a child, he's with the women for the first 5-6 years of his life. And that's where he learns his empathy. That's where he learns his compassion. That's where he learns how to be gentle and walk gentle on the earth. And after about age 5 or 6, then he's passed off to the warriors. And then that's when he learns how to be a defender of the tribe. And that's where they have that term, compassionate warrior. It comes from the Native American culture. So they don't have any exposure to the men for the first 5 or 6 years of their life. That's very, very important. Imagine our world today if we behave very similarly. If we allowed women to really, really guide our men. If we really allowed women to guide men into learning how to tap into their emotions. You know, because there's intellect and then there's emotional intelligence, and they're not the same thing. So what we have right now is a lot of men, 220 pounds, big muscly walking around the earth, but they have the emotional intelligence of a 6-year-old if they're lucky. And they don't know how to even tap into their emotions. So what does that mean? They can't show up in the bedroom and be emotional with their partner because they are so disconnected and suppressed in their own emotional states. And that's why you see in America all these mass shootings and everything. It's suppression because these men don't even know how to connect to their emotions. They can't even tell you what's going on. All they know to do is go light up a room with the AK-47. It's like, it's ridiculous. And it has everything to do with that connection, that disconnection to the emotions, and that disconnection comes into the bedroom. So when you are an emotionally intelligent man, it can speak to your space like, I feel sad right now, and these are the reasons why. Then you're able to connect with the woman in a whole lot more powerful way. And physiology has shown that women have more emotional nodes that go to their brain than men. So we're already at a deficit, you know. So that's why when you see women go out together, it's very interesting. I love to watch people. If you see women go out together, a group of 4 women, they're talking, they're having a good old time. And then the same conversation a woman would try to have with a man, he can't even keep up with her, literally. And that's because of the emotional state. So for every man that's listening, that's got a queen in his life, and she says, I need girl night, let that woman go out, because she needs something you more often than not can't provide her unless you are highly connected to your emotions. She needs that. She needs that other interface with women who can match her at an emotional level. So through the practice of semen retention, meditation, deep breathing, reconnecting to our own selves, honoring our own selves, that's how you show up as a true offering for a goddess.
Love it. Love it.
So,
man. Beautiful, beautiful. Hug life. Hug life.
That's it, man. That's it. I mean,
hug life.
We talk about it. And, Eckhart Tolle's book years ago, New Earth, everybody was all talking about it, and that's the problem I think that we have with this information society. It's like you can get information, but people aren't integrating it. They're not applying the very basic stuff. And how are we ever going to get to a new Earth behaving the way we are? How we treat the Earth, how we eat, how we view queens, what we say about queens in our music. Yeah, what queens are saying about men ain't shit. Like, how are we going to get to this new Earth that everyone keeps talking about because they read some book? Like, they don't understand that it starts with us, and it starts with us at a very root level. And this is the deepest and most profound way to do it.
Powerful. Powerful. You know what, we right now we right at the closing point here. So, I know people were like, okay, what's the next step? How do like you said, how do we create this new, or how do I create this new version of myself and everything? So let's tell them about, first off, how they can know more about the 21-day Tantra challenge, then also like check out your visual art. So tell them how they can stay in contact with you.
Sure. Yeah, and thank you for that, because we're actually getting ready to do our 3rd round of the JahSun 21-day Tantra challenge. So I invite all the listeners to go check that out. The easiest way for you to get involved in that right now is to join me on Instagram, and that's Far Studios. That's FARISTUDIOS, Far Studios Art on Instagram. And in my bio there's a link that will take you to the email sign-up. So it's a paid challenge, and I already have about 900 people on the wait list, and I don't have that many slots. So if you're seriously interested in learning how to transform your life, we're going to start from the very basics. So this is not a workshop. This is a challenge. We have over 47 high-powered videos, over 6 hours of video content for you. I have 2 international co-facilitators that join me. We have worksheets. We have a private group that we get involved in. It is a powerful 21-day transformation. So the challenge is no ejaculation or climax for men or women, and no consumption of any pornography of any kind for 21 days. And I keep you busy. We keep you busy, and we're going to help you and support you and guide you through breaking addictions and moving to a place where you can think properly. And I'm going to just leave this as well, because this is very important. Every time a man or a woman has an ejaculation, there is a state that we are in for about 17 days of this ejaculation hangover. And it has everything to do with the oxytocins and dopamines that we release out of the brain when we have those experiences. Well, most people, adults today, have never not been hungover, meaning they have always had some type of a peak orgasm, whether it's an ejaculation or a climax, within a 17-day window. So most people don't know how it feels like to even be sober, to be clear. One of the primary benefits is people are telling me, JahSun, I have clarity like I have never had before. So if you're interested, the best way, again, right now is to check me out on Instagram. Again, it's Far Studios Art at Instagram.com. And then in the bio there is a link where you can join the registration. Also, there's an access to my website where you can look at my inspirational art there and so much more. So I invite everyone who's listening, if you're interested, you can definitely hit me up. I'm accessible. I would love to hear from you. And enrollment starts next week. So if you're interested, definitely want to jump on that email today.
Yeah. All right. Definitely, man. Family, I definitely, if this resonated with you, if it piqued your interest even a little bit, just holler at the brother, check him out, and, and start this journey. Or if you already have started the journey, maybe this is a way to tweak it or to strengthen it. So, we definitely appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, man. It was my pleasure to talk with you, brother. I'm always excited. Welcome to come back anytime you have space. And for the listeners, I'm just sending you nothing but love, you guys. Transform your life, and that starts from the inside out, okay?
Ashe. All right, bro. Well, I'll definitely be in contact with you, man. Warrior to warrior, man. We'll be talking some more here. Again, family, this is Faux Show Holistic Health on Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, Shophar. And, again, thank you for checking us out and tuning in. Keep shining, keep climbing. Peace.
Peace.